Welcome to The Cut's Next Level, where each week we're having a conversation with a trailblazer who's breaking the mold in their field. This week we are joined by creative director and stylist, Reva Bhatt. Hi Reva, Happy New Year. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. It is early in LA, but we're here.
Let's go back a decade to 2011. Can you tell us what you imagined your career path looking like?
10 years ago, honestly, I would never have imagined I would be able to be a freelance creative and do the things. Forget 10 years ago, a year ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I definitely was raised, my parents weren't ever forcing me into a career. They definitely never tried to force me into anything. However, just with the community that was around me, and this is so cliche and stereotypical, and I know that this is, and I want to say that as South Asians, we are not, I'm not the monolith. So with that being said, for me, I definitely was raised thinking that there were 4 career options, lawyer or doc, you know what I mean? Those are the options. So they raised me to be a certain level. They want me to continue kind of their legacy, right? And so that naturally, if they don't see anyone in the arts, that's not a category for you. They just do. It's a cute hobby for sure.
Yeah.
Entertain it, we'll support you, but it's not the money maker. 10 years ago, I thought I actually went to college for pre-law. So I was on the path to be a lawyer. So I took the LSAT, I was applying, all of that. And then I kind of just had an epiphany.
Fine, but I want to talk about something.
Yeah.
How did you finally say, let me dive into fashion? Let me dive into being a creative. This is what I want to do.
Basically, when I decided that I didn't want to do law, my parents were like, okay, what does that mean? And I'm like,
Lean in.
I don't know. I have no idea because I didn't know what that meant for me. But it was right when I graduated was when Instagram was kind of taking off a little bit. So I started seeing brown girls. I remember I started seeing brown girls pop up and blogging.
Okay.
In the sea of whiteness, there were a few black and brown bloggers that I was seeing kind of doing these outfit of the days. And that felt the most relatable because it felt like something I could do from wherever I was with whatever I had. That felt achievable in a way that I was like, wait, I could do that. I don't know what that means. I don't know where that leads me, but it seems like enough of something that I could at least start establishing myself in that space. And that's how I started. I made an Instagram, Hybrid Hues, in 2014. And I was like, let me just, people keep telling me I have style. Let me take some pictures.
Did you experience imposter syndrome? Because I feel like imposter syndrome is something that we all need to talk about more.
I think imposter syndrome is definitely one of the biggest reasons that I even entered corporate America, because I didn't think that I deserved or had a place to be in fashion.
How did you stay sane with balancing 2 demanding fields, basically?
So I used to work 40 to 70 hours, depending on the week.
Yeah.
And then every night, every morning, before and after work, essentially, and on the weekends, because in corporate, you get Saturdays and Sundays off. I would
That's true.
My creative projects. So I was working all the time. There was not a moment I wasn't working. What would happen often is that I would only have time to create projects and to work on the projects. I didn't have time to network or go to events because I always had work. So Fashion Week, been. I mean, I have, but I wasn't going. I was an avid goer because I didn't have time. I was working corporate. I had to pay my bills. Like I couldn't do it. The little time I did have, I could only spend on actually creating the projects. And that was definitely hard and a barrier, because to build without, being able to do all the other things and not being able to build a fashion community as fast as I know I could have if I was full-time creative was hard.
What moves you the most about styling yourself and other people?
Growing up, styling was definitely a tool that I leaned on to feel confident, because I was a curvy girl. I wasn't a petite, small, I was fat. Put it point blank, you know what I mean? And that's okay, but I was definitely shamed for that and a little bullied for that. So I leaned on style to still feel good about myself, because I felt like I couldn't wear the clothes that everyone else was wearing. And I think that really plays a part when I style other people, because it's not just about putting what I like on other people. Styling, if you're a good stylist, you understand the person that you're dressing, or if it's like an editorial, you understand the creative vision. And as a creative director, typically the concept comes first, and then you cast someone. I've casted for the concept.
All right, how does your cultural background play into the jobs that you do decide to take now?
Now, I think that where I'm at is like, I feel really confident in my identity. I feel very confident in the fluidity of my identity. Representation is always, always, always important, but it's not the end all be all. And just kind of like continue growing. But everything inherently is through my brown-eyed lens.